What's up, my fellow Eagles fans? What's up, my fellow Eagles fans? This is your boy Roy, and this is the Preaching the Birds podcast. We like to bring you the latest and breaking Eagles news as it comes to, as you guys know, as the world knows, the Philadelphia Eagles and all 32 NFL organizations have trimmed their players down to the 53 players they are supposed to be at by yesterday. Let's get into the good, let's get into the bad, let's get into the ugly. So before we get into all the nitty gritty stuff, the Eagles made a crazy move today. Crazy move. So the Eagles went out and got somebody named Albert O. Albert O. He's a former Denver Broncos tight end. We're deciding to keep four tight ends right now, which is strange to me, but let's talk about Albert O, right? Albert O is explosive. Ran a 4.4 40 time, was a former fourth round pick from the Denver Broncos. And, recently he had a major game for his NFL career, which is why the Eagles decided to bring him. So for those of you who do not know, in Albert O's last game against the Rams, he had 100 and some yards, which is why the Eagles decided to, look into picking up this man's services for a sixth round pick. And, they might get a seventh, and they're going to get a seventh round pick back for him. It's a good trade, in my opinion, for Howie Roseman. As we all know, Howie Roseman is the GOAT. He always gets niggas for show. Man, Albert O is signed. We're happy to see it. We're trying to figure out how these things are going to work. Personally, I don't think we keep four tight ends on the roster. I think we get rid of one of these tight ends, send them maybe to the Steelers, who were being talked about as having negotiations with, because the Steelers have two punters on their team and the Eagles have none, right? But with that being said, let's get into roster news. So before we can get into the actual roster, right, let's get into release players first, right? So release/wave players from the Eagles by Eagle Zone, somebody I follow on Instagram. So before we can go into or get into the actual players on the roster, let's go over the release/wave players, right? So tight end Dan Arnold, tight end Tyree Jackson. Not really too big of surprises there, except for maybe the Tyree Jackson, but we'll go over that later. QB Ian Book, OT Dennis Kelly, O-lineman Brett Toth, O-lineman Josh Andrews, O-lineman Tyrese Robinson, wide receiver Deion Kane, center Cameron Tom, running back Kennedy Brooks, quarterback Greedy Williams, cornerback Zach McPherson, linebacker Nicholas Morrow, running back Trey Sermon, wide receiver Greg Ward, wide receiver Britton Covey, wide receiver Devin Allen, wide receiver Freddie Swain, wide receiver Johnny King, wide receiver Jadon Hasselwood, DT Marvin Wilson, DT Caleb Saunders, DT Olive Sagapolo, DT Robert Cooper, linebacker Quentin Bell, linebacker Tyreek Maddox Williams. Hopefully we can bring him back to the practice squad. Wide receiver Tyreek Cleveland. Hopefully we can bring him back to the practice squad. DT Noah Ellis, Linebacker KVON Johnson. Hopefully we can bring him back to practice squad. Wide receiver Joseph Nagata. Punter Aaron Sipos and punter Ty Zender. Now the last two people are very, very, very important. So for once in our natural lives, man, for the last 2-3 years, the Eagles have finally decided to listen to the franchise. Let Aaron Sipos go, baby. Finally, we have decided to let this mother go. I am so excited that maybe we'll be bringing in the punt god, Matt Esiason, and Howie Roseman. If you see me, if you hear me, motherfucker, bring that nigga in here ASAP. You dig? ASAP. Like a Rocky, okay? But yeah, so I'm really excited about seeing, Aaron Sipos not as our punter. Hopefully we bring in, Matt Esiason, or the rumor is that we're going after a Pittsburgh Steelers player, right? A Pittsburgh Steelers player. So the Pittsburgh Steelers have 2 tight ends, or I'm sorry, they have 2 punters on their team. We have 4 tight ends, right? So, like earlier mentioned, we picked up a tight end named Albert O. Can't pronounce his last name, so please forgive me for that. But we have a lot of tight ends on the team, more than what we're going to actually use. But with that being said, it means we might have a trade package ready for the Steelers. Maybe we'll give them a corner. We have 7 corners. We have 4 tight ends. Maybe we give them a corner, a DT, something like that. Maybe we make a nice little trade out of that, player for a player swap. Just throwing it out there. What you guys think? But yeah, that's really all I got for the release wave players. Not really too many surprises other than maybe the KVON Johnson and obviously sad to say that Kayvon Wallace being released was a huge loss for us personally. Seeing him picked up by the Arizona Cardinals, it doesn't hurt that bad. I was really worried that he was going to go to a contender. I thought he was going to go to the Cowboys or Redskins, or I'm sorry, the Commanders, or a team where he might be just missing like one piece, and Kayvon might be that last piece to help him get over that hump. Like that. But thankfully he got picked up by the Cardinals, you know what I'm saying? So it's not really too big of a deal, thankfully. And the other notable player that was picked up is Josh Shields, obviously. But let's get into the actual things we want to talk about. Let's get into the 53-man roster. So let's start with quarterbacks. Quarterbacks 3, Jalen Hurts, Marcus Mariota, Tanner McKee. Running backs 4, Kenny Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott. No surprises there. First quarterback, running back, we knew it was going to go down. Obviously, Trey Sermon leaving. I mean, he lost his position with that fumble. We are not surprised about that. The other 4 running backs were the better players. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Olamide Zaccheaus. Realistically, surprised we went so short here, but the way Howie Roseman is talking, we're just going to be bringing up practice squad players whenever we need a person like Britton Covey or Devin Allen, who by the way, Britton Covey and Devin Allen have both made it back to the practice squad. They're on the team. We are excited to see that. Tight end, Dallas Goedert, Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra, and Albert Okwuegbunam, or Albert O. We're going to call him Albert O. The tight ends, man, I'm excited to see Albert O in here. Like I said earlier, I was going to talk to you guys later about Albert O, but Albert O has a very rare ability to be more explosive than Dallas Goedert. So in the rare opportunity that Dallas Goedert does get hurt, Albert O should allow us to be able to run things through our offense with the tight end. So I'm excited to see that. So we're super excited to see Albert O. Hopefully this works out for us. And you never know. Maybe we trade him for another player. You know how we do. And for offensive tackles, we have 4: Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Fred Johnson, Jack Driscoll. No real surprises there. As soon as we saw Fred Johnson get that 2-year extension, we knew what was going down. Interior offensive linemen: Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, and Sua Opeta. What I will say about offensive line, I am surprised we didn't keep 10, but obviously there wasn't 10 players that really deserved it. Defensive tackle, we got Fletcher Cox, we got Jordan Davis, we got Millen Williams, we got Marlon T, we got Jalen Carter, Kentavious Street, and Moro Ojimo. And Marlon T, if I didn't say that. But we got 7 of them dudes. I was reading and, I changed the screen. Sometimes you forget. All right, and edge rusher, we got Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Nolan Smith, Patrick Johnson. Linebacker, we got 3: Nakobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, Christian Ellis. Cornerback, we got Darius Slade, James Bradbury, Avante Maddox, Josh Jobe, Kelly Ringo, and Elias Rios, and Mario Goodrich. And for safety, we have 4: Reed Blankenship, Terrell Edmonds, Justin Evans, and Sidney Brown. Special teams, so far we only have Jake Elliott and Rick Lovato. So we got to go over a couple things, right? A couple things from the defense, because the defense is definitely different this year. It's definitely different. We're carrying 7 defensive tackles. Now, that's a lot. Normally, we carry about 6. So for us to carry 7, obviously, we're missing the effects of Javon Hargrave, even though all the other podcasters don't want to talk to you guys about that. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it with my full chest. Obviously, we're carrying 7 because we are still missing, or we're still trying to figure out how we're going to live life without Javon Hargrave. But the 7 we have are cool. I think Moro Ojimo or Kentavious Street may go to the practice squad later, or go to like IR. Moro Ojimo is still dealing with the head injury, so you know how that goes. Howie Roseman might play that little roster tango and, figure out how to do a dance with his ass. So we'll see how that goes. For linebackers, I am really, really concerned, right? So we got 3 linebackers over here: Nakobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, and Christian Ellis. I'm shocked that Nicholas Morrow didn't make it, simply because Nicholas Morrow, to me, have been playing really, really good, and I thought he needed that, that developmental time. Obviously, he wasn't playing any special teams, so maybe that's part of the reason why. But I thought he deserved to be on the team. For cornerback, we had to go heavy because Elias Ricks and Mario Goodrich definitely made us have to do that. They were balling in preseason. Josh Jobe was balling in preseason. The only person that wasn't balling in preseason was Kelly Ringo. And realistically, I thought we might have let him go. But I'm glad we didn't, because, we spent a lot of draft capital. Obviously, it would have been difficult for us to let him go 1 year. I mean, it hasn't even been a full year yet. He's a developmental piece. But he looked bad, and Elias Ricks and Josh Jobe look like the future, so I'm just going to say it with my chest. I wouldn't have been surprised if they let this nigga Kelly Ringo go. I just wouldn't. The way I've already seen enough. Bro missing tackles, point blank range. Bro missing he's losing the track on the ball when it's going to him. Like, bro, you can't do that. You got to at least, when you're looking around, you got to at least find the brown, bro. Find the brown in the middle of the air, bro. I need you to find the brown, bro. He can't do it, so I'm, hey, look, I see writing on the wall. And for safety, this is the most important thing to me, man. Reed Blankenship, Terrell Edmonds, Justin Evans, and Sidney Brown. I think KVON Wallace got cheated. I think he got slighted. I don't think Terrell Edmonds or Justin Evans deserve a spot on the team over KVON Wallace for multiple reasons. But more importantly, because of special teams. Our special teams unit is going to take a major loss with KVON Wallace, Sean Bradley, Zach McPherson all not playing this year. Those were 3 of our top 4 special teams ace people. And with them not being on our team, major concern for our team, man. Major concern. I don't like Quick anyways, or I don't like our special teams coordinator anyways. I don't even know his name. That's how bad I don't like it. I want him fired. Yesterday. Yesterday. You see that? That happened because that's how much I don't like this bitch ass. Yeah. But I'm gonna be right back. I gotta put that thing right back up. So the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the most storied franchises in the league and the game at this moment in time, just dropped their roster from the 90 so players that they had in the 2023-2024 season down to 53. KVON Wallace got cut. Nicholas Morrow got cut. Josh Sills got cut. A lot of notable players got cut. A lot of crazy things happened. Let's find out where these players went and why the Eagles did it together. This is the Preaching the Birds podcast. Let's go over the news. But yeah, now that thing right back up, let's just, let's go over the real shit, right? So I don't really have much more to go over with you guys. Gave you all the real tidbits, details. All right, so now that I got that back up there, you know what I'm saying? Let's go over this shit. So I don't really have much to really go over with you still. So let's just go over the main points, right? Main keys. This is the main things that I took away from this, right? KVON Wallace leaving, major, huge loss. KVON Wallace is going to Arizona now. He's already been claimed. Josh Sills being let go. He's being claimed by the Colts. Huge loss. Nicholas Morrow being released. What does it mean? Does that mean we're going to bring in another linebacker? Are we really going to go short? Are we going to bring him back to the practice squad? I don't have that much faith in Ben Van Sumeren. I really, really hope that we're not going to go into the season really relying on 3 linebackers. I hope we get a trade for somebody, or maybe we're betting on Nolan Smith being able to play in that position, in the off-ball linebacker position, as his most talented position. Maybe that's what we're hoping for, but personally, I'm concerned about the linebacker position. How you guys feeling about linebacker and safety? I'm still a little concerned. I thought KVON deserved more of an opportunity than what he got, but let me know how you guys feel. Maybe y'all like Justin Jones or whatever. Maybe y'all like him. I didn't see it personally. I thought KVON played a lot better, but that's just me. And that thing fell one more time, so I'm out of here. Peace, love, fly, fly.